Alright everybody, welcome to today's tutorial on how to hold a crochet hook and how to hold yarn. Okay, this is a little bit difficult to grasp and it's different for everybody, so I'm going to show you a little bit of different techniques so that you can find what works for you and use that, okay? And there's other variations that you can do of each of these different techniques, and whatever works for you, you can go ahead and use that, okay? There's not one right way to do this, okay? Alright, we're going to start with the crochet hook. Crochet hook, this is a 5.5mm crochet hook. There's a bunch of different sizes that you can see. This one's pretty big in comparison to a lot of other crochet hooks that I use. 5.5 is my preferred size actually for this specific yarn. This is super bulky Chanel yarn by Dokeys, which is us. We make yarn and we sell it, and you guys can grab it if you want. Super soft, super tough. But this video isn't about that, okay? So you can hold your crochet hook many ways. I wouldn't recommend the caveman approach. You can if you want. This is a way that you can do it. For me, my nails are too long to do that. It'll just stab my hands and I don't love that. So if you have long nails, I wouldn't recommend this approach. It does work, just whatever it is that you have a good grip on it and you can move your wrists. I would recommend the magic wand approach where you're holding it like a magic wand, because you could use it like a spell, so you have good control over it. Holding it between your thumb and your four fingers, give yourself lots of good control so that you can really use this yarn to the right way. I'm going to show you how I do it at the end of this video, okay? You can hold it also. I have friends who hold their crochet hooks like this, like a pencil. That also works. Pretty good control. I don't have as much mobility with this part. It's really good for, it's not as tiring for your wrist. It's just like if you were to be writing. But I don't use this approach. I use the magic wand approach. But this approach also works. And if my wrist gets tired of using this way, then I'll switch to this way, and that also is fine. If you switch between stuff, that's also fine. There's not a correct way to do this. I know people who do it just however you hold your pencil, because I know people hold their pencils like this. I know people who hold their pencils like this. It can be like a pencil for you if you would like. Just whatever works best. If you hold your pencil like this could also work. Whatever pencil approach you use also could work. I just know that the magic wand version is my personal favorite, and I would recommend that to anybody. I would not recommend the caveman approach. Not the best, okay? So now we're going to be done with the crochet hook. Crochet hook is pretty easy, not a ton of variants, just mostly however you hold your pencil or however you like to use your magic wand, do that, okay? That's the crochet hook. I'm going to show you the mix of the two at the end, so just stay on track for that. So when you're holding your yarn, you're going to want to have pretty good control. You're going to have a spot for the yarn to go through and a spot that you can hold your project in the same hand. It's pretty dynamic and sometimes it's hard to grasp. I'm going to kind of zoom out a little bit so you can see my full hand. It's sometimes really hard to grasp. I know that this was really difficult for me to grasp when I first started, but then as I kept on going, as I kept getting better at it, my grandma helped me with it. She taught me how to do this one specific one, and I'm going to teach you this one specific one because it's a little bit more difficult, but it also gives you the best control and it's the most dynamic out of any of them, okay? So what I'm going to do is, it's called the sewing machine method. It's kind of how you would thread a sewing machine. She's also a seamstress, so this kind of makes sense. But basically, you're going to take the yarn in your fingers like this. You're going to tip your hand up towards the sky. My hand's a little dirty right now, but that's okay. Tip your hand up like this, take your yarn, and I'm going to show you in slow motion. You're going to take the yarn between your pinky and ring finger. If you're missing any fingers, I am so sorry. This is not going to work for you. But also, if you have all your fingers, please keep following. Wrap the yarn around your pinky. Take the yarn over your ring finger, under your middle finger, and then over your index finger as well. And then you can hold it between your middle finger and your thumb. Okay, you can hold your yarn and you can hold your project. This is where you're going to be using your crochet hook to access the yarn. Okay, this spot right here is how you're accessing the yarn. That's your little window, okay? You can also, if your middle finger gets tired of holding it and your index finger gets tired of holding up the yarn, you can switch fingers, and that also works pretty good, so it's pretty dynamic. If the tension is getting too tight over here, you can unloop it, and it can have a lot looser tension so that the yarn flows more easily between your fingers. It's good to have tension though, so I would recommend having it be in that loop, okay? And it takes practice to get it to be like this and to be comfortable holding your yarn like this. So that's the most complicated approach. We're going to go into some easier approaches that if you just want to get it fast, that these are also pretty good. You can do an approach of where you lay it across your back 3 fingers, and then you can hold it like that and control your tension like that. Again, with the nails, it's difficult to control the tension if you have longer nails because you just stab your hand. I wouldn't recommend that. But it also works, especially if you have shorter nails. And then you can wrap this yarn over your index finger and hold it like this. Okay? You'd be lifting up this finger a little bit. You're mostly holding with these back 2 fingers, holding the tension of this yarn with these back 2 fingers, and then holding the project between your middle finger and your thumb. Okay? Other approaches that you can use that I have used, just wrapping it around my hands in whatever way makes it work. Literally, you can do whatever you want. Those are the 2 main approaches that I would recommend, because you need to have a spot where you're controlling tension, and you need to have a spot where you can access the yarn so that it's at an easy place to access with your crochet hook, okay? 2 separate hands. So if you can play the piano, you can do this, because it's 2 separate hands doing 2 separate things together, okay? A lot of good hand-eye coordination. It's great to practice if you want some more like dynamic mental skills, okay? So the next step that we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I do this and how I use this skill, okay? I'm going to do the sewing machine method. I'm going to use the magic wand method with my crochet hook. And I'm moving both of my hands. Technically, I could just move my crochet hook hand, but I like to move both of them because it makes the job easier. But you can just use your magic wand hand or your crochet hook hand. So when you're at a point where it's too big to keep it, like this spot right here, the access point is too small, you move your grip to be up next to the project to make this window right here bigger. So if I'm chaining, this is called a chain when you wrap around the yarn and pull it through like that. If I'm chaining, I can only go so far before this window right here is too tight. See how small that is? That's a super small window. And see, I'm like getting so that I have to fully extend this finger to get the tension, to get this yarn at the access point for my crochet hook. So I just keep moving my grip. So if I get up to a point where it's getting pretty difficult to crochet, I'm going to just move my grip up here and I can just keep going, okay? And having a good grip is super important, and having consistent tension, like this is really good for tension. Having consistent tension is fantastic for making your projects look uniform and good. So a good grip on your yarn and a good grip on your hook can go a long way, and you can end up making cool stuff like this. Okay, well, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you guys for watching this tutorial. Check out our yarns if you'd like, our patterns. We have tons of patterns, especially for beginners, on our website. Check out our Instagram and our other YouTube videos. We have such funny skits. We have great tutorials that you can check out. Lots of good resources for people starting out. We even have crochet kits for beginners, so you can go and check that out. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and happy crocheting. I hope you learned something new.